It is morning here in Sweden, and yesterday was the last day of the Easter. So now is it back to the normal. The kids are in the school, and the parents is at work. Here in Sweden, when we have Easter, it's free from work. So we get paid to be off work here in Sweden. When I come back from United States and have been working hard in United States, and there were no free days off work days more than Christmas day. That was the only day, and I think it was, I don't know if it's more than that day when you are allowed to be off work, but I think there is no paid day. But in Sweden, every days that is holidays celebrated day, we are off work and get it paid. And in the first years, I was wanted to work here in Sweden when I come back, and I was angry about it, but it should be the opposite. But I go angry at that Swedish people had so very nice at work. That is, we have this two coffee break in the morning and coffee break in the afternoon, and we go away from the job, the working place, inside the area, but go away where we are working. And then in the lunchtime is it 1 hour to go away and eat. And when I was working in those the mall, in the store for like Lily Veron and J.C. Penney was I working for. That was a half-hour lunch break, and no, we could take coffee, but then we have to work in the same time. We could have the cup with us, the coffee cup with us, but still working. So knowing this, that how different it is between Sweden and United States, that make me so angry. And then we have 5 weeks holiday. Now it says in the summer break, 5 weeks, and paid 5 weeks. We get paid for be off work 5 weeks, and it have been for many years this. And so, but I know that's rare that we have here in the Scandinavian countries, and maybe in Germany, some of this country that is close to us maybe have it. But what I wanted to talk about, I would say one thing more, that the birds are singing so very much now because they calling for a wife to come making egg. I was thinking like that yesterday. They they call for a wife to making egg as they lay on the egg. It's seldom a bird. I don't know if it's a bird that give birth immediately to a living creature. So they call for to laying egg, and and I was thinking about when I was on the farm in Franklin, Virginia, and it was in the summer, and there was many birds singing, and I enjoyed to sit in the garden and outside and listen at the birds. And I asked those men that was there were no woman. I never saw a woman. It was only men there. And I asked them, what is the name of that bird? I asked them. And they didn't know the name of the birds. And it was those common birds that we also have here in Sweden. But I wanted to know the names of them in English. But they didn't know what it was. And they look at me like surprised. What? Are you listening at the birds like that? Now it can be different because I live with black people, African American people, outside on the farm, and they didn't know more than those birds that used to sit on the car and make a mess. That's birds they know, but they didn't know those wild bird that was singing and flying around there. And they surprised that I listen at birds. And I was surprised that they didn't know the names of the birds. And I can tell the same thing about this with African American way to see things also, because we had a dog that died and it was laying close to the house. So I say we have to take away that dead dog because it going to be rotten and smell, and all birds is coming here and eat on it, and it will be a mess. I said to those men that was there on the farm, and they say to me, "Oh no, we don't touch any dead. We don't touch dead." Massa, they say also, so they going back to the old time. We don't touch dead. Massa. So I have to do it. I have to take away that body of the dog and throw it into the bushes in the forest. So there is when I live with African American, there is many differences between African American and white people in the United States, and maybe here also, to how to see the world. But today I had a subject to talk about because it had been like a local war here in Sweden, and it's about I told you in last episode about this Danish right left very to Hitler. He is Hitler lover, and he is here in Sweden and uh, moving moving around. I have eaten breakfast and I eat bananas with buttermilk, so it's make me got gas up in my mouth. I'm sorry for that, but he is allowed to could speak because we have that in Sweden, that we are allowed to standing in public and talk whatever we want to talk, but we have to go to the police and ask for permission to be allowed to talk in public if there is some special cases. And this Danish man have been allowed to speak, and I don't think he have done it, but he is saying that he's going to burn the Quran, and of course that make Muslims be very angry. That's of course, and in the first place, I think it's very foolish of the police to allow it, but in the same way, there is a freedom of speech and some freedoms, but Sweden is not a religious country, so they don't understand how important it is for many countries, many religions, if you do some harm on those worshipping items they have, and of course they go angry. Those Muslims, we have many Muslims in Sweden, because we have had an open board to all people and never investigate them like they do. Most countries investigate those people that is allowed to come into the country, and that is from it was like that in the United States when there was the terrorist in September 2001, that after that they start to investigate all people that come from countries that is called terrorist countries. But Sweden have never done it. They allow the most people to come in here, and there is people that is here from Middle East that they are not recorded here. They have no papers. They are only here, and of course they be angry and where those this political group was talking in the cities, those Muslims it's most almost only young boys, and they took the police took 41 Muslims, and they don't say Muslims, but it is Muslims, and they many of them was too young to be put in jail, so they go free. They only tell them to not do it anymore. Don't do it anymore. And then they are free. And so they were burning many cars. They burning some police cars, and many of some of these police that was there, they are in the hospital because those Muslims, they threw rocks on them, and it, even if they are covering of to protect them, is there places on the body that can be hit, that they have no protection on. And then also they go into the police and fight with them body to body, and it's like every time these things happen, they be like surprised. There was on the television this morning, I watch the news in the morning to see what's going on in the world, and the political people that is in our government, they look like they are surprised that it will happen, but they should be used with it since 2015. In 2015 it was when they start to be this move from Middle East up to Europe, and then they make much wrong things in Germany and France, where they go first, and they couldn't return to Middle East, so they had to find another country, and Sweden was open for them to come in, and because France and Germany didn't want them there, so they come to Sweden, and I know that because many of them Muslims I meet, I don't know French, but I can understand German and speak a little German, Dutch, and they are speaking German. Those Arabic people, that they can't speak Swedish, but they can speak German. So that's confirmed that there is many from Germany coming in here because they have done criminal things and couldn't stay there in Germany. So they are here, and if there is any Muslim that is listen to my podcast, I should tell you that it's very bad to do these things to the police, and the media is talking about it, and that I get the spirit here coming, when I'm talking, and that make it very worse for everyone, because that make commercial for those the party we have that is on the third place here in Sweden in biggest party, that make them get more votes in the election. We have the election coming now in 5 months, and they are going to they be very happy when you are fighting with the police, and all people can see that it's Muslims that is fighting with our police that should protect us. And there is people this morning have saying that they don't want to live in those cities where it have been this fight in Easter time, in Ramadan time, and they don't want to live there, and that causes some cities to be even more Islamic and more problems. And I understand that you protect your religion and protect the holy book Quran because this man say he should burn the Quran in public, and that you say that Islam is a religion of peace. Then you should show us that you are a religion of peace. I know some Muslims that is not like this, that to fight. They want to be one with the Swedish society, but there is too many that don't want to be in our culture. My neighbor upstairs, the man, he don't want to be Swedish, but the woman seems it's always women that want to be Swedish, but they see it in another way than the men, and the man is so much prison in their culture and their religion thinking that and it be worse for you to be angry at this burning Quran. But I understand it's very assault to do it to you. But what you do by throwing rocks on the police, and the media is there and see you doing and show it for the whole Sweden, that make it be very negative for you when those that love Hitler is coming to be in the top in Sweden and change the laws and act. And me that 25% Jewish, I have also a problem if they will be in the top. All Jewish will got a problem, but most is it Muslims that gonna be deported from Sweden, and so that's not good. And I was wondering, it's about this. I have thinking about it this morning. Why they throw rocks when I moved in this new home for 2 years ago, there was those that was on television this morning. Not they special, but that age. It was 3 boys that was standing outside and look into my home when I move in, and they were about between 14 and 16 years old, and I challenged them by standing in the window and look at them, why they stood in front of my window. First, those first days, I was thinking that they have a meeting place there. But then I saw that they are looking into my window the whole time and talking to each other. And so I was standing and look at them. And when they went away, I heard a knock on the window. And I look out, and just in front of my door to the garden, there was a rock. I think it's so symbolic for it. It's so special. I still have that rock in my home because they know exactly how big the rock should be and what weight it should be to could throw it on my window that it make a big sound but not break the glass. They know exactly, and so they did that, throwing rock, and it's I don't know Arabic, but it sounds like a rhyme. They do rhyme. That's throwing rocks, and where it is Rami alaya marat. It's Rami alaya marat is when they go to Kaaba, is in Mecca. When they go there to the pilgrims walk to Kaaba, on their way, is it about throwing rocks? It means that they, before coming to Kaaba, they threw away the sin they have by rock. And it's also that they throwing rocks to the devil go away. They say they not only threw away their sin, but they also threw the rocks to the devil to don't come here. And that's what it means when they threw the rocks to the military in Israel, and when they do it on the police here, and those ambulance men or the fireworkers, they go and throw rocks. And this is nothing we have here in Sweden. We have never been in that way. We have not the culture to throw rocks. So that is the what is called a signifies. It's a signum about who they are. When they threw rocks, that means they are from Middle East. It's a, it's a kind of stupid in the same way that they act without thinking what will cause if we do these things. They don't think about it. That no one here in Sweden threw rocks. That's not the Swedish thing. So we know where you are from. And then also that the more they do harm in Sweden, the more will those that love Hitler will they grow more and more people that join them. Everyone is talking about this party now, and it's so bad that those religious Christian leaders I have as friends on Facebook, they want to vote on those Hitler because they don't see it. They don't see it coming because the leader for that party, he say, we have cleaning up from the history, he say, because they started to admit that they love Hitler and wanted to be like Hitler. And now they say, we have cleaning up our party, but there is lots of those young people that want the party to be like in Hitler's time. And it's when I was thinking about this throwing rocks also, I was thinking about that was when I think of why do they do this throwing rocks. The first that immediately come up in my mind was that that's how the apes are doing. All the monkeys and apes, they are throwing rocks. And I have seen some documentary. I love to see some like nature's documentary about animals, how they doing things. And those chimpanzees, they coming with, they have sticks and some have rocks to the enemies, so through it to scare the enemies away. And the apes are marking the territory, and we can say that religion is, now it's the spirits coming again, and they mark their territorium, but we can say they mark that this is our religion. Don't come close. Go away, the devil. Go away, devil. Like that. That's the same thing. They act like they are ape. Those that throw rocks. That is so total wrong to do it. But it's in their culture. That is in them already, like they are born, but they are not born with it, but they see other children, older children do it, and then they do it also. It's the environment that caused this. And I have already told you that these women that do this is in the background making men doing it. Or else they, as a mother, they should stop this rock throwing, but they seems not to do it. So that's it confirmed that they are for it. They want their children to go and throw rocks on our police, our fire worker, our ambulance, and they have fire up a bus. A big bus was on fire, and I've, I, I've, I smell it yesterday that it was like here in my garden. I smell like it was like burning wheels. And this morning I heard it on the news that it was 4 cars that was burning just where I live. Not in this area, but this area is like more slow down because it's already a Muslim area I live in, and that's why I got these rocks also, because they don't want a Swedish person to move in their Muslim area. And the other area where the cars was burning, this is more like that's the first home they got when they're coming to Sweden. So there is they don't know the rules, the laws, or anything, and because of this, that about this burning, talking about burning the Quran, and what they did in those cities that in Easter now, that make them burn 4 cars yesterday. So that was right, that I felt a little like the smell of smoked car, but it was not very close to me. It was close, but not just where I live. But it's maybe 5 minutes to that place from my home. And so it's going worse and worse, and I think it's going worse about the election that is going to be in 5 months. And I don't vote because I believe that God take care of it. And what is said in the Bible in symbolic way, in not literally. This symbolic saying in the Bible is what will it be, and in that way we can't go against God. We have to let God do what is supposed to be. And so I don't vote. I have not voted for many years now, and I am not involved in the world in that way anymore, because I have moved forward in the spirit. So, and I should never have any weapon anymore. The weapon is in your head and not in what you can buy. So I am not into violence, even if whatever they do with religion, and that's so good that I am not in a religion, so I can stay away from the world when it comes to religion, because religion is the world. It's religion is the same as the world, and you can see it today also. That's why you are here and listen to my podcast, because you find a freedom place here to hear uh, what I have experienced in life about God and God's kingdom. And now it's a spirit again, and there is a spirit here. So uh, you can close it now, but I am going to listen to what the spirit is. It's not a very very hard touch on me. It has been 3 times now. When I'm talking, I tell you when I be hit of the spirit here, so you know where I what I'm talking about, that the spirit have hit, that is like confirm what I'm saying. And now is it on me the whole time now, because it want to talk, and it looked like Jesus. It looked like Jesus, but I don't know yet. It's very hard, because those men can have long hair, so it can look like a woman also. It's because they have no gender. That's why it's before they really showing me if they are a man or a woman. They are both man and woman, because a spirit have no gender. Then it have to decide what gender it should be in, because of what they are talking about and who they are talking from. So it's very strong on me now, because it want to talk, and it's now he look out in my garden, so I know it's Jesus that is coming through. And he in his in his 30 he had a little long hair, not very long hair, because the Bible is talking about, no, that's what he want to talk about. That's why he give me this now about hair, that he's telling this, that it should not be like, it's hard to know if a person is a woman or a man. It should be a difference between man and a woman. That's why men should not have long hair or ponytail. And this, if now they believe in God, they should not have look like, on the back side, when you look at the person and you don't know if it's a man or a woman. It should be different. A woman should not have their hair cut like a man, and a man should not have his hair like a woman. That's what Jesus is talking about here, and he make me think about it and talk about it. And he's saying this, that I had long hair, but it was because I was so focused on walking around and talk about God's kingdom, and there were not many around that could cut my hair, but I cut my hair as fast as I could, he say, but I had not long hair most of the time, and yes, I know that, Jesus, but I tell people that listen that the picture of Jesus is it's from a man that lived, that was, I don't know what his name was, and Jesus doesn't tell me the name, but it was this Roman Catholic son of a very famous man, and he had the long hair, but it was in maybe 600 or something, that it was common with long hair for those people that they don't knew God, so they have their type of hair that they wanted the world to have, and they were modern, and that doesn't mean that they know God. They didn't know God because I was invented, Jesus is saying about himself that he was invented to be God. So they believed that I was God. So they didn't know what God is saying about this with hair. But in everything, a woman should look like a woman, a man should look like a man. And I got it confirmed, but I knew it because it was on. So I only saw 2 minutes of a television program. It was an interview with a woman that have hair like a man, very short hair, and she said that that is symbolic for lesbian, is homosexual woman that cut their hair to show other women that they are available. They are homosexual and they are proud of it, like they say, and that means that they love their own gender. So that's is total wrong in God's eyes. So that that is what Jesus come forward to talk about. He want to tell you that of course it's more practical to have your hair very short cut as a woman, but it's about God. and what he's saying about hair, that a woman should look like a woman and a man should look like a man. So you should not make any mistake to look at the person on his or her backside, the back of a person, before you see the face. You should say, that the woman, that the man. That's what it says in the Bible. I am not good in the Bible because I don't read the Bible, but I get the words from God and I know it's in the Bible. And you that is very good in Bible, you know where it says. And it's same thing that a woman should be have clothes and appear her profile should be modest. Those are not God's children that come in high heels and you hear it from a long distance, those heels in the floor inside the church, and they have all the golds and long nails and those extensions hair and those things, and look like they are, you don't know, maybe they took their way inside the church when we were on their way home from the club, like that it looked like, and that's wrong. You should look modest, you should look clean, you should look healthy and clean, and be a sign of that I am a child of God, the real God. So I thank you, Jesus, for coming down and talking about this with the hair. So that's what he wanted to say. So I thank you, and if you start the morning now, as I wish you a blessed day, or you that go to bed, I wish you a blessed night, and whatever time you are in, I wish you a blessed life.